Quite excited. Quite excited. Quite excited about this interview. You know, it's a chick from London. I guess I was trying to do my London thing. I don't know. I wonder why. Oh, can you hear me?
Hey.
Hey.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's very loud and clear. Who am I speaking with?
Perfect. And that's fine. You speaking to Salome?
Salome.
Yes, Salome.
Okay,
I mean, online I'm known as Spectrum Salome.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I like that, Salome. Well, I'm Lady Scrap. And
peace, Lady Scrap. Hey.
How old are you, Salome?
I am currently 26 years old.
26. And where are you born and raised?
Yeah. I was born in Kenya, and then at the age of, I want to say 8 or 9, I moved to London, and I've been living in London ever since.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been back to Kenya?
Yes, so I always go annually to Kenya. So yeah, I've been back.
Okay.
I literally just came back 3 months ago.
Really?
Yes.
Do you want to move back or no?
Oh, my days. Look, yeah, I've just been moaning about how I want to go back home. But it's so crazy. When I was in Kenya, all I wanted to do was come to London, and I manifested it. But now I want to go back home. So I hope I do manifest that.
Really? What made you want to come to London or go to London?
So maybe because my parents travel a lot. So my grandparents travel a lot, and my dad traveled a lot, and he was in India and then went to London. And I just kind of was like, I want to go to London, because London is just, Kenya is colonized by the British. So we do idolize that. Like, wow. I remember having dreams about how white this place was. When
wow.
I had dreams about wearing white clothes, white shoes. My friends were white. The roads were paved white. Everything was just white. It snowed white, because obviously with the snow, and I didn't know how cold snow is and how awful it is. Oh, right. I hate it. But yeah, so I just kind of idolized that, and I just put it in my head. I made sure everyone in my community called me. It was something called Nya London, so it means that the daughter of London. So I made sure everyone called me that, and then I finally made it here. And wow. I've been here almost 16 years, and I'm ready to go back home. So yeah.
What was it like growing up in London for you, though? Because you came at 8, so then you had your teen there, high school and all of that. What was that like?
So it was interesting, because I had to learn some English. Like, majority of my English I learned here. So learning new words and having different groups of friends. So I remember having just a white group of friends, and that was no different to me, because in my family, my grandma hasn't taught me, about white people, black people, because everyone in my country is black. Everyone in my tribe is black. So majority of the lands there are black. But I didn't question when I saw other races when I was younger. Okay. So when I got here, I'm obviously the minority, right. And that was very prominent. And people would make fun, but I wouldn't understand why they were making fun, because I don't obviously understand what you're saying to me. I didn't understand how rude, things like, girls in like my age at that time would go to the park and like give head to guys. And I remember this so prominent. I was like, yeah, I do that, but I didn't know what the hell.
Right, I'm like, wait, what?
Yo. That's what I'm saying. Like, this little trickery, things that you don't, because you're coming from a different culture, you don't know these things. But then when you get to learn it, you're like, what? So yeah, wow. That's how growing up was. It was very mischievous. It was very interesting. I don't think I understood when people made fun of me. It didn't really affect me, not mentally or emotionally, because I didn't understand.
Okay.
But growing older, now being in London and going through college, uni, and just work, you definitely look back, and you definitely everyday experience why you want to go home.
Okay. Okay. Because you're just constantly reminded of certain things.
Right. Yeah, and just certain things they don't make sense. And when you try to have a family, I guess the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, because I just want to have a family like how my grandma has a family, somewhere secluded in some large lands that no one can tell you anything about, but your own laws that govern there. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that out of her. So yeah, I definitely. And sunshine is so important, just for health wise. The food is more vast. The people look like you, so it makes sense.
So it's like gloomy there a lot?
Say that again, my love?
It's gloomy there a lot? You said the sunshine.
Ooh, yeah, in London we have awkward. We have like a type of weather. The cold. It's very cold, and majority always very cold and grey because it's a city, and obviously loads of grey. But when it's sunny, it's maybe sunny for a few days. But you know what's so crazy about that? That's not how when I came to London. I remember coming to London, and that summer. I remember my grandma from Kenya was like, oh, it's going to be so cold, wear this coat. And I have pictures of all coated up coming to London. When I got here, it was one of the hottest summers they were experiencing. So there you go. I was like, what's going on right now? So it was such they do have like really great summers when the summer does want to come, but it doesn't last long. It's not like in America where you guys have like your summers are summers. Like New York has a good summer and it has a good winter. So you know what to expect. But here it's like, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And the temperatures are not too bad. Like they don't go they're not crazy temperatures like under 5 degrees. We just have really bitter wind. Our wind, because we're an island, so our wind is just, it's cold and it's really bitter. It cuts you. Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't like the cold either. And as you saying this, I'm picturing what I have seen. I've pictures in magazines and all of that. And I'm just like, wow, you know what? It's like an overcast in these photos. It's not sunshine and bright. It's really not.
No. In London, the beauty from London comes from the people, like there are different cultures, and I'm just not the whole UK, but London in itself.
Right.
And then you have because of the different cultures, they have, you go to one area and it's dominated by one culture, and then you see how they make that area their essence. So then they have the graffiti on the wall, or they have different type of foods, or they burn incense mostly around that area. So you're like, oh, this is nice. This is really great. And now the government incorporates that culture. So, for example, in Brixton, I know that street graffiti is not accepted, but if you go to Brixton per se, that's accepted to the point where they will even get an artist to do a whole nice piece about people within that community. So that's like the beauty of London. It incorporates other people's community within itself. And I feel like that can take away for the weather, definitely.
Right. So as far as violence, because that's everywhere. How would you describe the violence? Like, was it gangs? Is gangs a part of that country?
So I can't give you an honest perspective because I'm not born here, but I've not really experienced violence like that in London. Not for me anyway. Like, it was just petty fights in school.
Okay.
But I do live in a city where violence is high. I've lived in an area where people get killed, and but it's not. For me, to be honest, I've never really encountered it. Really, the worst violence maybe I've encountered was the riots, and I was cool in the riots, but I was having fun. I was like, yeah, man, look at all these people, like, yeah. it was like a carnival for me, but yeah, it wasn't. I've never really. But when I speak to other people, my friends, and then you look at, hear different artists who come from these places where they're born, you really get a really good perspective. Like, wow, like, okay, this violence comes from that. They have a different stem, because certain things I still don't understand. It's still a different culture for me, and I'm still growing in this culture. Right. And because I travel a lot as well, it changes how maybe I'm approached, or
your perspective, all of that. Yeah, all of that. I get you. I'm with you. Trust me, I get you. Yeah. What do? You said you travel a lot.
Okay, so I model, so I'm signed with the model agency. So yeah, we give thanks.
Wait a minute,
and then say that again.
You always wanted to get into that industry, or how did that come about?
Okay, so with modeling, to be honest with you, that's definitely something I would say like my mom put that into me and my aunties. Like, I'm tall, I'm slim, I'm beautiful, I've got the figure, but I don't really care for it as much as I do for my actual career, like healing work, with astrology and yoga. If it wasn't for astrology and yoga, I'd be a nutritionist. If it wasn't for that, I would have been an anthropologist. I'll be within a service for people. That's always been my loving. But then, when you're beautiful and you can make money from just standing there, well, it's more complicated than that, trust me. But you can be paid for just being you in the aspect of beauty. Then yeah, absolutely. Because my mom was a model and also my auntie was a model, so it was programmed into me. Even with healing, it's within my family, so also that is programmed into me.
Oh wow!
But with modeling, I wasn't very interested as I was with the other aspects.
So, are your friends Kenyan, or you have a mix? It's mixed.
So yeah, in London, we have mixtures of friends. I have a mixture of friends. I have friends from the Caribbean, friends from London, friends from Nigeria, friends from Ghana, friends from Congo, friends from France. You have friends from
Because
friends from everywhere.
I asked that because over here in California, from what I see, Nigerians, Kenyans, they don't mess with us. They stick with themselves.
You have Kenyans in Cali?
Yes, we do. They stick with each other. They don't mess with us. They at all. Like they not our friends.
Why? What's that all about? Because I always feel that what is that tension all about? That's so weird, because there's maybe I'm in my own little bubble, but I think there's still like a tension even with different groups of people within the Black community that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Completely doesn't make sense to me.
And in Texas they do, because I've lived in Texas for a while off and on, and there's some Kenyans out there, Nigerians and Jamaicans as well, and they interact with the Americans like it's not a problem. Right. I don't know what the problem is in California. It might be us, because we definitely got a chip on our shoulder, and I don't know why, but our stereotype is we are not welcoming. We're not hospitable, so that might be it. That might be it.
I'm going to come to Cali, and then after that, I will definitely give you a review about how I've been treated. But maybe they'll treat me a bit better because I've got the accent of British accent. But maybe they might not. So I might get back to you on that, because you seem very lovely.
I will definitely be checking, because as you say, that may make a difference depending on how you interact, how you're approached. It just depends. In my field of work, on what I do with security, I run across all types of people. So, and with me being open-minded and always wanting to know and learn, I try and guess the accent or where they're from a lot of times. So, but everyone where I'm from isn't like that, and I see that just off observation, So yeah, I'm gonna definitely be checking for the review too.
Because that's really interesting, because it's quite a dangerous dynamic, because the only reason why I don't have an accent from Kenya is because I left the country before I was 13. And if I probably left after I was 13, I would have kept that accent. English would have been perfect, but I would have had an accent. And so a lot of people have probably been in America for 20 years and they speak that way. And probably you guys perceive them that they're from somewhere that they're not from, when the majority of their life is involved in that country. So it could be that dynamic that actually happened, or it could be that sometimes when people carry accents, whether it's African or different accents, you feel like they're lower in status. So I don't know why, because you definitely know Africans are rich, but we still have this notion that they're low in status. As soon as you hear the accent, you're like, okay, bitch,
it's a stereotype.
You're gonna fraud me, or you're gonna, what I mean? All these stereotypes come along with the way that people sound, and obviously the way that's how you know they're different. Because at the end of the day, if they sounded like they're from California, they're all Black,
right?
So you're different, because Cali is hot, so yes. Maybe because in Kenya everyone wears locks, so people calling me Rasta, they don't even know I'm from the country, So until maybe when I speak, then they can tell a difference. But everyone just it's that's very interesting, because that's something that still goes on, and I definitely I would like to experiment it for myself.
Right.
Like, what is my actual experience of that?
Right.
And see how I'm treated. Yeah, because we don't look any different until I talk.
And it's interesting for you to say if you would have left after 13. Like, how can you say that? Why would that have made such a difference in the dialect or in the accent itself to stick with you?
Because there's something in the brain happens at the age of 13 that holds language or sound of language that you're from where you're bred from. So, for give you a good example, my cousin was born in London, and then his family moved into Kenya, and he speaks Kenyan fluently, the language, that everything, book back to the T. But then when it comes to speak English, his accent is also perfect. Now, compare it to maybe my uncle who's born there but knows English perfectly. He wasn't born in the UK, he was born in Kenya. So I found that quite dynamic for myself. So I went into research to look into it, and it was something to do with the brain. And it's the marks the age 13 to be the age that when you're born in a country, if you travel before that, then your accent doesn't conform, if that's the best word to use. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because that's interesting. I was like, what? How does she know? You know? But she researched it, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all was wondering, how does she know? That was very... Do you want any children?
It's random, but yes.
Right.
Say that again?
Do you want any children or a kid?
I do want to have. I do want to have children. I want to adopt as well.
Okay.
I don't know how many. Maybe as many as I can afford, because I love money as well. So I want to be able to. I want to be able to be free and them not be a bugaboo, because that'll be the saddest day that your child is a bugaboo, because you really know they're not a bugaboo. It's just that you don't have money for you to do something entertaining with them.
Right. You don't have the means to entertain. Right.
It's right. So, I mean, people can always be creative, but people have lost creation. Like for me, I'm not saying I was poor or very wealthy, but I was always very creative every day.
Right.
Because I had from a large community. There was always something to do. Even in school, we just had more, a little bit like in America. You guys have a wider curriculum that they do in the UK for activities. Mm-hmm. So at young, I had that as well. Plus, I had, you have cousins. You play games. I remember creating I built my first tree house because I wanted to. Like my grandma said, I asked her, and she said, "No, you do it yourself." So I did it myself. Okay. So, and I could do it myself. That's the thing. The opportunity was there. Now, could you imagine the opportunity where a child has an idea and they can't express their idea? That's frustrating for both people.
It is.
So
very
right. So I built it. I didn't like it, and then done. I know I can do it, right? So you just have to. I need to have a space where I have children to be able to afford that for them. And I know that money definitely matters. But I love money also aside from that, because it's a beautiful entity and I don't want to chase it away. So, yeah.
Do you have any other siblings, brothers, sisters?
Yes, I do. So I'm the oldest one, and then I have my sister in the middle called Trudy or Gertrude. But Trudy is so amazing. She can sing, Oh my days, my sister can sing. Let me tell you, compose music and sing as well. My sister, and she speaks I don't know if it's Mandarin or one of those languages there. She learned it, but she was born here. That's what I'm saying. It's just
interesting.
London is so it's so weird. I'm so dual with this place because it's so beautiful as well.
Right.
But yeah, so she learned so many different languages, and she can do music and compose, and I mean her voice is naturally hers. But when it comes to the other things, it's she put in an external effort into that. But yeah, I mean that's the element of her. And then I have my youngest sister, Bessie, and Bessie is just, Bessie's going to be the richest one. She's going to be the richest one. Yes.
Shout out to Bessie.
Yes, because Bessie, you're definitely going to be the richest one. When it comes to finances and being careful and knowing when enough is enough, that kind of discipline goes far.
She's frugal.
All of us will be broke and she has money and she's the baby.
Yeah, so, she's very frugal. Okay, I got you.
Give thanks for them. Yes.
Okay, so it's all girls though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
My dad got all girls. Yes.
That's how I am. I'm the oldest, and there's 2 more girls.
Oh, beautiful! Wow. So there's 3.
Yeah, it's 3 of us as well.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
beautiful. Do you all come from the same, like, do you all live in the same states now?
Yes, because the age gap is very, very interesting. I'm 32 and a half, and my sister just turned 22, and then it's another sister that will be 12. So, yeah, we're all still close to home, close to mom. No one's an auntie, no one has had any kids, none of that. But the middle child, my little sister, I look up to her. I want to be like her because she's really on the right path, like she's a good example for the younger youth or her generation.
Now, what's a good path? What does she do? Tell me.
She has 2 jobs. She's not caught up in the gang life, the gang culture. And with me being her older sister, it would have been very easy for her to get caught up in the gang culture, the gang life. She didn't. She doesn't have any children. She graduated high school. She has a website. She does poetry.
Damn, she's got a website. Ooh,
yeah, that's why I'm like, she really popping. So yeah, I got this podcast and don't even have a website. Like, yeah, she really popping. It's a lot of good attributes about her with her being in her young 20s. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink. Also,
Damn.
I think her addiction is tattoos. Other than that, she's pretty all right. She really is.
Yes, she definitely is. Give up to sis. Give thanks.
Shout out to the internet auntie.
I love to hear more successful people. I love that.
Right, within our culture, just because we're black, Always positive.
Oh, man. She's sharing a light for all of us. Give thanks.
Exactly, something to look forward to or to just know. You don't have to be a product of your environment. Yeah, you don't have to be a product.
Right, we're not. You're not alone. Yeah, we're all doing this, and it takes a human to sharpen a human.
Exactly.
It takes an iron to sharpen an iron. So.
Because I loved how you said you manifested it. From in Kenya, you manifested where you wanted to be, and you had people helping you keep that as your goal, as your dream, till it became true. And then now,
who knew about that? I didn't study about manifestations when you were young. When you think about certain things, like when you overstudy, sometimes you just gotta feel and do what's right because you just felt like maybe saying this 10,000 times it might come true. Because to me, I grew up in an SDA family Seventh-day Adventist, so they prayed a lot. So I knew that if
that was Salome, y'all. Salome, out of London. By way of Kenya, out of Kenya by way of London. Hit your girl up, HoodChicks35 at Gmail. Follow up, subscribe, comment. Y'all love that accent, don't you? I know you do. It's your girl, Lady Scrap, your favorite damo from the West Side Fruits.
You can't know yourself without having the external help you know yourself. Right. If you're alone in the world, you wouldn't know else. That person alone wouldn't know themselves until another person had to come through. But oh my God, yeah, you have long hair. No, you have short hair. No, you have tits. No,
right, it makes sense.
So
Trust me,
it makes sense. Yeah, we need that.
I thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you. I thank you so much. I don't know what time it is there, but you're probably ready to go to bed. But I thank you for taking time out to do this.
Oh, thank you for calling. I love this. It's so beautiful. And I'm very honored, by the way, because I just thank you. Yes.
She said, I'm honored, by the way.
Where do people find you? Where do